Alright everyone, we're back with more My Team on F1 2020, and today it's going to be the Chinese Grand Prix, but before that we finally have enough money here to upgrade some of our facilities, and that is what we're going to do today. We're going to blow pretty much most of our budget really that we've earned up to this point. I think we're going to improve the fabrication, then get sort of simultaneous upgrades now possible for that department, so should be able to hopefully upgrade a bit faster now. Then obviously we're gonna have to work from scratch again now then to build up some of that money again, but I think that'll be good for us in the long run. But getting some more durability upgrades on the car as well. Some of my parts are already looking quite a bit worn here then, as we are looking at the development graph here, and it was looking pretty close, I think, with Alpha Tauri. I think they were just starting to pull away from us again a bit. We are going to add some activities now then to improve the morale, and that of I think the stats for our second driver as well, I think we added as well there somewhere. Actually, I think I didn't actually. I think we just did that, the durability and the F1 Esports event for this one. So yeah, I don't think I did anything for my driver there. I'm not sure, I didn't see, but we're going to do the aero upgrade then, because that one has unfortunately failed, so we'll try and get that one on then again. We've got, I think, a few upgrades on the way then, hopefully for the Netherlands. Yeah, we've got 3 on the way then, as Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo have pulled away from us a little bit then. That failed upgrade hasn't helped us there. Haas have also closed back up to us, so we may be in for a bit of a challenging weekend then. We were looking pretty good, I thought, in Vietnam, beating the Haas drivers, I think there. I think we beat both of them, I can't remember now. We had a good result there, we were looking pretty good on pace, I thought. We certainly out-qualified both of them, and I remember we out-raced Romain Grosjean in that one. So I think we're looking pretty good then, but as you saw there, it's looking like we could have our first wet race. Sunday was looking like it was, yeah, going to be very wet indeed. In first practice there, it's looking nice and dry at the moment, so we'll be able to get some nice dry running now on track. But yeah, that forecast for Sunday is not looking too promising then at this point, as here we are then in practice, and I was very happy with how the car felt, and also how quick it seemed to be. We were comfortably beating some of those practice targets there. FP3, interestingly, was wet, so that did give us a chance to do the race evaluation. I think that's what it's called, I can't remember now. That program in the wet, so that was some good experience there for us, and our first time driving the car in the wet, so it's nice to have a bit of experience there. And again, it sort of felt quite good, so a good successful practice there, I thought, and some good resource points. We've gained some more acclaim there, and into qualifying then, still nice and dry, but obviously we don't think that's going to be staying that way going into Sunday. Possibly, unfortunately, I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing for us. Really, it might be good if things get thrown up a little bit. We did have to tweak the setup a bit for this qualifying, so I wasn't as happy with sort of how the car felt in qualifying as I could have been, because obviously I was sort of planning ahead for the possibility of a wet race. Sort of had a bit more rear aero than I would have wanted, a bit more ride height as well, so the car wasn't really as balanced as I would have wanted, but still felt pretty good. It was only it didn't wasn't a dramatic change to the car. We still said a decent lap time there to begin with, then a 31.5, and as you can see, by the time we're doing our second run, we are still ahead of both the Haas drivers then, so that's encouraging for us. Can we improve even further with this one? Yes, we can, up to 14th then, ahead of both Alfa Romeos and ahead of one of the Alpha Tauris and of Danny Kvyat there. On to our final run then, and you can see just from these first 4 corners then, we've gained about a tenth and a half there. We're looking very good. We unfortunately lost a bit by the time we entered the final sector, but it's still looking like we're going to have a good improvement here then on this lap. Giovinazzi's gone back ahead of us, and in fact Raikkonen and Kvyat have both bumped us down by the time we get to the end of this lap, but we are on for an improvement as well. Can we lift ourselves back up the field? I think we could there. I believe we did gain a place and we are 16th place and on the grid. That's our best qualifying so far, both of the driver and for the team, so that is very encouraging for us there. It's another Mercedes 1-2 then in qualifying, with Hamilton getting pole from Valtteri Bottas, Leclerc ahead of Vettel then on the second row, and Verstappen ahead of Albon on row 3. But yep, looking down then, it's our best qualifying so far. Oilot once again then on the 10th row, as he has been in every qualifying so far, I think. And yep, it's our best qualifying so far.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment? It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race? Great. Well, that's everything.
Some more good acclaim then for the team and for us as a driver. We were so close there to reaching level 3, but couldn't quite do it on that occasion. But still, we've beaten our teammate once again then. He had the upper hand on us in the first 2 races, but I think we've managed to sort of get back ahead of him then in the last couple, so that's good. But now we're going to head then to what looks like it's going to be our first wet race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here at Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Raikkonen, the scientist, Antonio Giovinazzi and Roman Grosjean. Magnussen, Ireland, Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Rain's coming down quite a bit, but it's looking like intermediate tyres are going to be the way to go then. That often tends to be the case really, unless it is absolutely torrential and there's big puddles everywhere. The inters tend to work very well, and you don't often see the wet tyres use that much, to be honest. We are going to underfuel the car then, because I don't think we're going to really be using the full capacity of this engine too much during this race. It's looking like it's going to be wet all the way through, and I think we can afford to run a bit lighter here today then, and that will probably help with the balance of the car as well then. But from 16th on the grid, what can we do today? Everyone is probably going to be on pretty much the same strategy then, because the inters probably won't go the full distance, and I think most people will probably just pit the one time then to go onto a fresh set during the race. So it's looking like it's going to be a straight fight between everyone then today. What is the car capable of in these conditions? Can we move forward? Are we just going to drop backwards? We'll have to wait and see then. We're lining up now then on the grid in our best qualifying position so far, 16th place. We're in between the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers here, and we'll see then as we just wait for the final few cars to line up now, and then we will have the lights, and they're coming on now. We're away then, and it is a tentative start from everyone, but I think we've had a better start there than Kimi. We've had a good start, and we're actually looking at Gasly as well towards turn 1. We're up the inside. Raikkonen's coming back around the outside then. We're going to try and stay on this inside line if we can. I think that will work quite nicely for us. We're ahead of Gasly, I think, just about. We're side by side. I'm running outside. Can we hold it now? It's going to be a bit difficult to do that, but we're still side by side with the AlphaTauri driver. It looks like he is just about going to come out on top though, but still we have managed to gain a position there, so that is a very good start then. And down into the hairpin, Gasly going quite defensive there, and we've been quite cautious there, maybe a little bit too cautious in fact, as Gasly's going very slowly. And in fact, yeah, we were too cautious there, because Raikkonen is back round the outside then, and back up to 15th place, so a little bit too cautious from us there. I think we definitely could have passed Gasly, but a little bit too cautious there. He made quite an aggressive move in the braking zone, and that sort of put us off there, but then it also allowed Raikkonen to retake the position. We did have a good run though down the back straight towards the hairpin, but it doesn't look like we're really gaining enough here to go for the move into the hairpin. It'd be a very bold move, I think, on the first lap of the race, not really fully knowing where we can brake yet. Obviously in a full tank of fuel, that would have been quite a bold move to go for a lunge into the hairpin, so yeah, we thought better of it. You see a bit of the start then, we did have a very good one there, and as we saw then, we passed the Alfa Romeo there. We were having a look at the AlphaTauri as well, and it didn't quite work out for us there. And then you see Gasly just makes that move there across the inside there in the braking zone. We were a little bit too cautious there, I think, though, because I think the gap was still just about there for a bit, but yeah, we paid the price there. And for the third race in a row, George Russell had run into the back of someone on the first lap and broken his front wings, so that is yet another race ruin then for the Williams driver. He is having an absolutely dismal season so far, as he did have to pit there with that damage. But anyway, on to lap 5 then, where it's still it's pretty much status quo really. We're sort of matching the Alfa Romeo's pace then. We're not really gaining on Kimi. We're also not really losing any time to Giovinazzi here then. We're just sort of staying just about within a second here in the middle of both of them, so we do seem to just be matching them on pace here. We're not really making any progress, we're not losing anything either, so I guess that's encouraging, because the Alfa Romeos do seem to be a bit quicker than us, so our pace does seem to be quite decent here. And in fact, by lap 8 we had managed to make a little bit more of a gain than on Raikkonen. We were managing to close up to him a bit more than we were before then, but just the problem was this turn 13, we just were not getting a good enough drive out of this corner. We're in overtake, we're going to use a lot of our overtake here then to see if we can catch up. We're also into Rich, but we're just not gaining enough here then down the straight, and in fact we're just not gaining at all there. I don't know if Raikkonen was also using his overtake to defend there, but well, we were just not gaining at all, and this was the problem really. We were on lap 8, we've still not made any progress, we just could not make any overtakes there, and obviously the main overtaking point on the track, we were just not gaining anything, so that was a bit of a problem there. And it looks like we're going to have to just try and do it somewhere else, try and catch him out if we're going to make this move, because it does look like we are quicker at this point, as he's very slow through turn 2 there. Into turn 3, can we run it running outside? I think that's going to be very difficult, and I don't think it's going to happen then. He is a bit out of shape though, didn't have the best exit out of turn 4. I think we're going to have a good run down here, down towards the hairpin here of turn 6, up the inside, and we have made it stick then. So it's not really the, well, you can make moves there, but I guess the hairpin at the end of the lap is sort of the more conventional overtaking spot on this track, but it's looking like that one just wasn't working for us, and yeah, we've made the one down into turn 6 work for us instead then, and we are up then into 15th place. On to lap 14 now, and you can see up in front of us the two Toro Rossos, not the Toro Rossos, the AlphaTauris, the racing points, and we've also got one of the McLarens as well up in front of us. So this battle goes into the points here, so this is looking very encouraging for us then, as we do now make our pit stop here, our one and only stop in this race, and we'll see if we can have a good stop here then, as well. Valtteri Bottas, and what a disaster this season is turning into for him. He is out of the race, and that is going to be yet more points dropped then for the Mercedes driver, as we come in for our stop It's a very good stop from the AlphaTauri team. We have jumped Pierre Gasly there, so a fantastic stop from our mechanics there. And we are back out then into 18th place at the time being, but not everyone has stopped. We are almost a pit stop already ahead of our teammate Callum Ilott then. He's not had a great race here, and he's only just ahead of Nicholas Latifi there, so Ilott's struggling quite a bit in these conditions, it looks like, as we've got a very good run then on Latifi then. Has he seen us? I'm not sure he has, but we're going to be past him quite quickly anyway, so yeah, don't have to worry about him for too long then, as we are going to, I think, now pass the stop Mercedes there of Valtteri Bottas, so another disaster then for the Mercedes driver. He had damage in Vietnam last time out, and this time it looks like his car is just packed up then, and that is going to be no points then today. More points dropped to his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who is currently leading the championship. As we see the pit stop then from the AlphaTauri perspective, I thought they were quite slow there to begin with as well, but they also, I think, had to hold there for the Alfa Romeo coming in as well, so our mechanics just about got us out there just about a safe release from the pits, and great job from them. We're back out then ahead of him, and we're right on the back of Callum Ilott then, who really needs to just let us go here because we're not racing. But right, come on Callum, you remember who is your boss here. He does not seem to be paying attention then. He's going defensive into the hairpin, and in we go. He's actually locked up. We give him a very wide berth there because yeah, he was completely locked up there towards the hairpin, and yeah, he could have very easily steamed into us, as we admittedly did to him in Bahrain there, but luckily we managed to avoid it then, as he is in the pits then. We've got Magnussen and Giovinazzi and Kvyat's in, and there's Kvyat then just out of the pits in front of us, and in fact he's very slow here, still on his cold tyres. We're just going to pounce straight away then. We see the gap into turn 2, we're up to 12th place. This is turning into a very, very good day here then for the team, with the 2 racing points then, one of them in the points only just up the road there. We see a replay then of Ilott then almost going straight on there in third pin. We were nice and wide there to avoid him, and we managed to make it work running outside there. We see on board then he was going defensive where he really should not have been, because we're on different strategies here, and well, he's so nearly run into the side of us there, and that would have been quite a disaster, and really considering how this race is starting to play out for us here, as Kvyat there left the door wide open, and now we've got well, it's going to be very hard to get into the points here then. I mean, we've managed to beat the Alfa Romeos and the AlphaTauris, but I mean, we've got the 2 cars then that, I mean, won last year's championship just in front of us then, so it's going to be very, very difficult to be able to maintain pace with them then, or at least enough to actually be able to get close enough to make a move, because as we've seen earlier in the race, just because we may have been a bit quicker doesn't mean we will still be able to get close enough to go for attacks. As you can see, we're only a few tenths behind Perez here, but we're just not getting close enough to make any moves. But I mean, this is just unfamiliar territory completely then for the HRT team. We've not been anywhere near the point so far, and now with 5 laps to go, we're only just over a second behind a point here then, as we are very close once again into Sergio Perez. And are we going to be close enough here? It doesn't look like we are. We're just a little bit too far back, I think, which is a bit frustrating here. We're going to have a look into the hairpin, but we're just not close enough, and this is a problem really. You have to be quite a bit quicker, and you have to literally be right on the back of him here. I've been finding here in these wet conditions to actually go for the move. You have to literally be like climbing all over the back of the rear wing. It's rear section, it feels like, to actually get a good run down towards that hairpin. In fact, we may have just done enough this time then. It's going to be, we're going to go into overtake, we're going to go into rich. We may just have enough here then down into turn 6. I thought we didn't, but then Perez left the door wide open, and well, we did. I thought I was not close enough, but Perez braked earlier than I was expecting. He left the door much more open than I was expecting, and yeah, we just walked on through. I wasn't even thinking of an overtake there, but we managed to turn it into one, and unfortunately this was the only decent camera angle it showed us at that. So yeah, there we go then, up to 11th place. Can we get Stroll before the end? Well, we saw how hard it was to get past Perez. I think this one may be just too far for us to achieve this one. I mean, it took us nearly 10 laps to pass Perez, so I think it's going to be very difficult here to pass Stroll. We're going to certainly push as hard as we can. We weren't close enough into the hairpin there. We haven't been close enough there all race though to make any overtakes, so it's really going to be about getting this final corner right and getting the first 4 corners of this final lap right as well. We're about half a second behind. We need a fantastic turns 1, 2, 3 and 4 here then if we're going to get right on the back of him here and get a good run down towards the hairpin of turn 6. We are very close though. Stroll there. I thought he may have left the door open for a minute, but not quite. We are very close to him here through turn 3. Can we follow him here through turn 4? He did have a very good exit there, to be fair, so I don't think we're going to be quite close enough. And no, as we approach the braking zone, he is going to be comfortably ahead. We were very late on the brakes there. We were ready to pounce there if the gap was there, but no, we were just a little bit too far back and Stroll managed to cut us off. But we are still very, very close. We haven't made any overtakes in any other parts of the track, and well, we're going to have to do it now then if we're going to get out of place, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen then. Stroll looking quite a bit quicker in like the rest of the laps, so it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We're going to have to make an audacious lunge into the final hairpin if we're going to get a point here today, and that's not going to happen unfortunately. But well, we were very, very close today then to scoring the team's first points, but still it's going to be the team's best result so far then. We're going to finish the Chinese Grand Prix in 11th position, a fantastic result for the team.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
It's a performance to be proud of from our Chinese Grand Prix winners today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
There is the confirmation of the final results. Lewis Hamilton takes the win, and it's yet another Ferrari double podium where they don't win, with Sebastian Vettel leading home Charles Leclerc, who got the fastest lap there in 3rd. Verstappen and Albon then again for Red Bull in 4th and 5th, with Ricciardo the best of the rest then in the Renault in 6th. And looking further down then, 11th place, our best result, and also the driver of the day in 11th place there, the HRT team. So a fantastic result for us there then, splitting the 2 racing points. Looking further down, we saw there Callum Oilott then only 19th day, not a great drive from him, not a great day. He was struggling for pace, it looked like, in these wet conditions. And Bottas, the one retirement then for Mercedes, and his miserable season there, as you can see, just getting even worse. He's down to 6th in the championship as Hamilton extends his lead, and he's almost got a whole race win at this point over Charles Leclerc in 2nd, so he's looking very good at this point. Looking further down, a few gains then for Ocon and Norris there, and as Kvyat drops down, we move up to 16th then, ahead of Pierre Gasly then with that 11th place finish today, so that's a better result than he's had so far. And in constructors though, every team above us has scored points, so we're going to stay in 9th place, but that is a very, very good 11th place for us there in the constructors, because it's a lot better than what Haas and Williams have got so far. So overall, a very positive result there for the team.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You were cutting your way through the field during the race. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today? Appreciate your time.
The weather certainly dried up very quickly there, judging by that interview, but we had a very good start then. I completely forgot actually about our rival, Romain Grosjean. Yeah, we had a much better weekend than him then, beating him there 4-2. And in terms of our acclaim, we've gone up to level 3, and in terms of our team acclaim, it looks like we have also gained and we're up to level 5, so we'll be able to get some more sponsors on the car as well then. As I said, I forgot to put the new sponsors that we've got on the car, so yeah, that XXY, they're still giving us our bonuses even though we've forgotten to put them on the cars. That's nice of them to do that. But yeah, as I said, I forgot about that. In the Netherlands, we're going to have the sponsors on the car. We're going to have a new sponsor as well, and that'll all be on the car. We'll also finally be caught up to the update with the black Mercedes, so we'll finally have that in the next episode as well. So yep, some things to look forward to then. Obviously a brand new track as well then for the Dutch Grand Prix, the Zandvoort circuit. So plenty to look forward to then in the next episode. We're gaining speed as well then. We're looking very quick as well, judging by our pace then in the wet conditions. So lots to look forward to then. Hope you enjoy this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.